welcome back to The View for a review of Hull City 3, Leeds United 3, in a game that had two very contrasting sides to how Leeds played. Attacking performance from Leeds was very good, could have been a little bit better in fact, but it was decent, creating some big chances and scoring 3 goals in the process. And then it was the defensive side of the game for Leeds. The defence from the first minute till the last minute looked, to me, all over the place. Ethan Ampadu being caught out of position quite a lot, and his passes from the back forward gave possession away far more often than they should have today. Leeds goalkeeper comes in for questioning today as well. I don't blame him for all 3 goals, but I think he's got some level of blame in 2 of them and definitely responsible for the 3rd. And we'll go through that in a bit of detail. But when you look at this game, Leeds starting the game reasonably well, but the away record hoodoo continues to cost Leeds this season. Some will say a point on the road is a good result against a side who had the worst home record in the division and have scored the fewest goals in this league this season, and they've managed to put 3 past Leeds. And in a game where Leeds, to me, pretty much threw this one away completely and caused all of their own problems. In truth, Hull City could have had more than 3. They created some very, very clear chances, and only for some last-ditch defending and some good moments and a little bit of wastefulness from Hull's perspective, they could have scored more. Leeds go behind early on to Hull inside the first 10 minutes. Again, we've seen this trend all season, and Daniel Farke has spoken about it. He spoke about how slow starts have cost us. We seemed okay. We had a bit of the ball at the start, and then out of nowhere, a hopeful ball from the left-hand side is looped into the back line, and for me, Ethan Ampadu and Joe Rodon are way too far across on the right-hand side, and that might be a result of Leeds going with the very advanced fullbacks. Max Volber is then isolated against Kamara in a 1v1, doesn't have the legs to keep up with him. And Illan Meslier hesitates. He's not in his position right. He has a little run across the box as the ball's going across. And then he hesitates whether to come or not. And when he does come, he's in no man's land and gets lobbed in. In that situation, I either want him to head back to his goal or absolutely commit to getting that ball. And he doesn't do either. Gets caught in no man's land and leads to a goal down. And then Leeds huffed and puffed for that half while Hull had more opportunities to extend the lead towards the end of the first half. Leeds went in 1-0 down and needed a kick up the backside in the second half, and they appeared to have gotten that from Daniel Farke coming out and scoring relatively early, without Tanaka scoring in the 46th minute, his first goal for Leeds, and a wonderful strike. Great work on the left hand side by Manar Solomon to get the ball into his feet, checks outside, and he just smashes the ball across the goal into the top corner. A wonderful goal to get Leeds back on level terms, and then you're hoping Leeds build on that and keep pushing forward. And they do. Dan James scores for Leeds next, and great work again from Manar Solomon on the left hand side. Smashes the ball across the box. No one there to get hold of it, and Jayden Bogle coming in on the far post pulls it back for Dan James to tap in. Well, I say tap in. Smash the ball against the goalkeeper's face, pander, and into the goal to give Leeds a 2-1 lead. At that point, Leeds push on again, but Hull still had some chances, and Leeds were getting warnings to be careful that this game wasn't over and done. I thought Daniel Farke might make some changes at that point and try and put a bit more defensive steel in there, maybe Gilavogi, but he doesn't do that. The only change he makes early in the game is withdrawing Max Volber for Sam Byram, who Daniel Farke told us midweek was exhausted, but yet still decided to play the right back instead of Isaac Schmidt. And there's now a major question on what's going on in his situation, likely to play against Harrogate. But there were, as I say, moments that showed Leeds that this game wasn't gone completely, but Hull were still giving Leeds some opportunities as well. And when the goalkeeper Pander passed the ball to Joel Piru, and he took a little push outside, beat 2 and smashed the ball across the keeper into the far corner, and it was 3-1 in the 72nd minute. And at that point you're thinking, this is it, game over, maybe we can make some changes now, maybe see out the game, manage this game into a win. But we don't. Josh Gilavogi and Matteo Joseph appear to be getting ready for a very, very long time, and Daniel Farke is speaking to them on the sideline, but they don't come on until the worst has happened for Leeds. Leeds give away a free kick, and they gave away a lot of free kicks between the halfway line and the box, and we've been guilty of conceding goals from long free kicks. Sunderland early on this year, and flashes of that came back as a hopeful looped ball into the box was appears to be headed over the crossbar, a looping ball, and as Illan Meslier runs back towards his goal, all you're thinking is just tip that over your crossbar and be done with it. Meslier tries to catch the ball, his hands hit the crossbar, and the ball drops down for Pedro to tap into an empty net. Decision that was made purely by the goalkeeper, and 100% of the blame for me on that lies with the goalkeeper. It's a big mistake. You can see Joe Rodon's reaction to it. He's not happy with Meslier. He wasn't happy with the first one either. It was a huge mistake from the goalkeeper that gives Hull a lifeline and brings the game back to 3-2. And you just want Leeds to hold on at this stage and manage the game out, and they still don't make the changes, and they still don't do this. And then Leeds give away a corner after a cross that wasn't dealt with. Again, poor defending. They give away a corner. it's not cleared properly. Meslier comes to punch at the front post, and then he can't get his position right. And what I will say here is, Kamara on the edge of the box, or inside the box, is completely unmarked. There isn't a Leeds body near him, and there's some level of blame needs to go to somebody who wasn't covering there. And as the shot is taken then back towards the goal, Illan Meslier hasn't got himself sorted. He's going one way, falls to the ground, the ball rolls in. For me, needs to do better, but not 100% that blame, but definitely 50% of that for me. And we look at all 3 goals in that, the goalkeeper unfortunately is involved in all 3 of the decisions that were made for all 3 goals against us. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that Leeds' defensive shape and defensive performance today was horrendous. Joe Rodon and Ethan Ampadu were missing at several points when crosses came into the box from counter-attacks, didn't cover back in time, were far too advanced. And if we're going to play with this advanced fullback system, Leeds need to do a better job of covering the middle of the park as well. Ethan Ampadu and Joe Rodon were very advanced and weren't recovering in time in the first half specifically. Second half it got better, but they did leave gaps right across the park today. And for me, from a defensive perspective, Leeds all at sea today, and lucky that results so far today went our way to some degree, and we remain a point clear at the top of the table. But this is now 2 games in a row where Leeds have thrown away points, Blackburn and now here again. The away record has been the Achilles heel all season. We get 2 wins on the away road over Christmas, and all of a sudden the last 2 games have undone the good work that was done over Christmas. And instead of being 6, 8, 9 points ahead of teams, Leeds are now 1 point ahead of Burnley in second, 1 point ahead of Sheffield United in third, and 6 points ahead of Sunderland down in fourth. So still a lot of work to Leeds to do. We get a bit of a break now before they take on Harrogate Town, and there are some questions to be asked around the defensive side of Leeds' game. Daniel Farke's keenness to make sure Ethan Ampadu is in that team no matter what position he's in doesn't work for me. It needs to be square pegs and square holes. Max Ferber should have played left centre back. Isaac Schmidt should have played left back, and Ethan Ampadu, if he is to play, needs to be in the middle of the pitch for me. Leeds have round peg and for round hole options, but their manager is consistently picking square pegs and round holes, and that's a question that needs to be answered, because the balance for that defence for me today was all over the place and was one of the main reasons why Leeds were as bad as they were today. Going forward, excellent. Create a lot of chances defensively. Probably one of our worst days on the road. Again, playing against a side who have the worst goal scoring record in the division, score 3, and the worst home record in the league. And you draw after being 3-1 ahead. Show good character to get back into the game, and then weak character, I suppose, to not hold on to it and to let it go away from them against a side where Leeds should be going and really putting a number on the board against a side that have been poor this season. And missing a ton of players. It shouldn't be pointed out that they are missing 10 squad players, 7 from their starting 18, and still managed to get a result against the best side in the division. So still work for Leeds to do. Need to sort some things out. What they do in January, they need to sort the defensive options out if they haven't got them, and move away from these square pegs in round holes options. And that's just my opinion. Would love to know everyone else's opinion down in the comments down below. Try to enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on Monday for the Leeds news and for the review with the team. Talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.